There was like the beginning of the Busby one.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I didn't tell you that I was recording yet, and you're just like, like shadow boxing with it. That's totally going in outtakes or as the intro.
You should do it.
It's great. It looks awesome.
If this video gets 100 likes, you get Gears looking like a.
I get that for free all the
That's
time.
on camera. What?
That was a dad joke, man.
This guy thinks he's a jokester. Thinks he's the jorker.
I got mad dad jokes for camera.
Oh my god. You know what?
I quit. My contract expires.
I used to enjoy this hobby. Those days are gone.
Hey, we're recording.
We're good? Good to go?
Alright, so we're going to talk about the Magnum.
Don't call it a Magnus. Don't compare it to that.
Yeah?
It's way more superior.
The Magnus was a good gun, man. Good blaster.
You know, Magnus was cool because it was like the second mega gun?
Maybe. Yeah, it was early on.
You know what? This doesn't even blows everything else out of the water. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. Why do you think that, man?
Well, I mean, for starters, it's undoubtedly the coolest stock blaster. This is 100% unmodified blaster I've ever shot in my million years of nerfing. It's just, do you see this?
I do see that.
All right, what do you...
And I know that...
Does it not make you feel a certain kind of way?
We definitely did an entire episode that was not about that entirely, but in spirit, it was all about this. We were so excited for it. And then maybe 2 weeks ago, Target released them finally. And I was at a Nerf war. You opted out of that Nerf war.
Yeah, I was kind of definitely not playing video games.
So yeah, you hit me real early in the morning. Was like, dude, look what happened. Look what Target's got up. And like,
I mean, that was within the first 10 minutes of me waking up for work, I saw that shit, and we had spoken so much about it. I think it was just only a matter of time before we saw it. The hype went through the roof, and had to get on there as soon as possible.
So I like wiped the crust out of my eyes and laying in bed and going to the Target website, and I order 2 of them to pick up later because I know there's no way I'm gonna be able to get there before the war.
So the thing was with the Zone Magnum, I think it was Target must have received 1 case of Magnums per store, which it was 4 blasters to a case. So I figured, Frisco, we both live, right down the street from one another. We both live right between the same Target. So he's going to get the first 2. I'm not going to order online. I'm just going to wait till I can see it in person, kind of, fumble with the box a little bit. I'll make my decision when I get to the store. So you bought yours online, knowing you were going to like it. And so the day came, I think it was... I forget the exact day it was.
It was Sunday. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so, I woke up bright and early, immediately walked to Target, kind of, moseyed around the store a little bit, did the DCPI on the scanners, and it wasn't showing anything coming up, and I was really disheartened, considering, Brickseeker said there were, 2 units left at our store. So I knew that they were in stock somewhere. I wasn't going to hassle an employee just yet to check the back, and lo and behold, and then right at the end of the Nerf aisle was a woman with her shopping cart sitting in her cart. So, it immediately occurred to me that, oh my god, these remaining 2 must have gone on the shelf. The store's exited with 1 already. This next one is not leaving the store unless it's in my hands. So I did what any, devout nerfer would do.
Reasonable nerfer.
Any reasonable nerfer, of course. I waited till she looked the other way, and I took it out of her cart and ran as fast as I could. So immediately grabbed it out of her cart, ran to the checkout, got out as quick as possible, and here we are talking about the Zone Magnum.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly the coolest blaster of 2016 thus far, in my opinion.
So I picked mine up immediately after the war, went home. It'd been, a long day, but I can't resist, so I take it apart and start shooting it and start firing it, and this is awesome. So I passed it through my chronograph, and this is awesome. And then I posted on Reddit, and it was just real quick, you know. Normally, I try and really get a strong impression for a thing, like play with it for weeks, and I want to go to a war with something before I actually like start talking about it, because I don't want to just be like just spouting nonsense and like spreading half-truths and like anti-science around the community.
You don't want to initially kind of pick up something and, you know, make your opinion based on the first couple minutes of touching it. You know, you have to kind of, you know, figure out the, you know, it's almost, you know, finding out the manipulation of the blaster, the way it feels, the way it shoots. You have to run it through its paces before you can kind of figure out, you know, if it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to do.
Right. So after I passed it through the chronograph, I just like immediately had to take it apart. I was so excited, and my wife's like super annoyed with me at this point. This has been like a long day, and she's supposed to like hang out and watch Stranger Things or whatever it was we were into at the time. And but I'm like, okay, we can do that, but I'm gonna be taking this blaster apart. So I take it apart and find there's no air restrictors in it. There's only one sort of lock in it that all that does is prevent you from pulling the trigger while you're moving the slide back if you have not engaged slam fire, which comes, that is an issue never. So I just left it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I, like, when I initially picked mine up, you know, my kind of, you know, formula when I pick up a new blaster that I feel is either, you know, Nerf war appropriate or something I could use when traveling to HVZ games. I almost do a weird kind of shadow boxing kind of, I guess, run of my entire apartment where, you know, I kind of figure, you know, exactly how am I going to, you know, pop a corner and try to, you know, laser a zombie or something, or how am I going to, you know, pie like an angle and try to get a shot on someone. So I kind of, you know, do that kind of thing where I try to put up these like scenarios, you know, before I actually run the blast through its paces. But before I even cracked mine open, I kind of, you know, felt like this is it.
Yeah.
This is the gun that's going to change my play style, and it's really going to, you know, screw me up in the process in the way that, you know, doing some of this isn't going to happen anymore. It's just, you know, topping off. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah. So the next thing I did was just reach into my bag of springs and see what fits. And what I found is, I believe it's a Blaster Parts Magnus upgrade spring that I had to cut a little bit of length off of. Because the area that the spring has to compress in this blaster is quite small. It's like as small as a Retaliator, which is just a little bit less than an inch. Anyway, none of that's important. I found a spring that works, and then I passed it through the chronograph and got some strange readings. I got like low 100s to 125, something like that, which is like a pretty wide range.
And were those with which darts?
Those are with elite darts.
Okay, cool.
So the most common darts everyone has access to. I always try and do all of my testing just with elites.
Okay.
So I was a little puzzled by those inconsistencies and just how that's a pretty wide range for a blaster to have.
Yeah, 25 FPS is a little bit of a deviation.
So I stopped posting about it.
Okay.
Right. I thought I need to take this to a war. Shooting this in my alley isn't going to do enough.
Sure.
So I decided to go to the Naptown Nerf Club's war this past weekend in Indianapolis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and brought the one that I modded and played with that, and it performed excellently.
Nice.
It is as good as any of the modded flywheels are in that appropriate range, and if you can adapt to the play style of just topping off, it is fantastic. And so I brought the one that I played with yesterday just to show off a few things about it. Most notably, people have been complaining, and on the box it says that once the drum is in, you cannot take it out. And while that's true in stock form, that is a mod that you can make with your fingers in about 3 seconds. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. That comes right out. So you're not going to be able to see this on camera, but I'll add some pictures. There are 2 tabs at the end here. You just bend those guys in, and that is what holds on to the bottom of this drum. So you see it engages just fine. It clips in
Right at the front, yeah.
right in solid, and then this goes right in place.
Excellent.
And you now have a drop cylinder. So if you feel it's necessary to still have extra on you and still do mag changes or whatever,
You
if
have
you
that option.
think that's fun, you do have that option. And you can do that without tools. Anyone could do
Yeah,
this.
no, I absolutely dig that.
Like my jiu-jitsu instructor's son, Matthew, he could do this. And he's like 8 or 9 or 10 or something. Like he could do that mod. And that'd be, and wind up with something that is incredible and can keep up with all of the like highly modded stripes and rapid strikes
Yeah.
and whatever else is going on in your super stock wars.
I mean,
man.
it's funny to think, these could compete with someone who's running, half a dozen 18-round magazines on their chest strikes, topping off their rapid strikes or their stripes. 2 of these. I mean, it's just that, this is literally, the highest capacity blaster out there.
So, talking more about specific use in Nerf war, you were at APOC recently.
Yeah, I was at APOC last weekend, which was a lot of fun. And so at like our informal after party, I kind of showed some of like my nerfing buddies the first episode of Nerf Mercs, where we kind of talked about the Dark Zone blasters a little bit. And me, I love HVZ. We've been kind of traveling to games a lot lately, and kind of talking with like devout NIC nerfers, who kind of have that like lingering interest in NIC or not in HVZ. They kind of want to try it out, but they're not sure if it's going to be entirely their thing. HVZ is very much like a high risk kind of game, where if you don't go into the game fully prepared, you might not have the best time. And it's almost as if there's like a buy-in.
Yeah.
Before getting into like a big HVZ event where you have to have the blaster, you have to have as many magazines as your chest strike can accommodate. You have to have all the magazines for all your magazine pouches, and it's kind of intimidating for new players. But I kind of showed some of my friends the video and the images of the Magnum, and it was kind of like the what is that?
Right, that's familiar.
Yeah, That looks like something I could use.
Right.
That looks like something similar to topping off like a Hopper magazine already. I mean, this is it. Like this is a blaster where if you're new to like any like HVZ event, you don't have to buy the chest rig. You don't have to buy the multiple magazines. You don't have to buy all of that HVZ script to kind of enjoy the game.
That and some socks.
Yeah, that and some socks.
Get you through your first mission.
We talked
Easy.
a little bit about the Reaper on last week or a couple weeks ago.
In episode 2, yeah, we talked about it.
That's right. And so that that was interesting, but because I kind of felt at the time that was the best choice, and I don't want to upset anyone in the Sentinel Union, but like this is absolutely a Sentinel killer.
Agreed.
This is the blaster for any like player who's considering HVZ, any prospective player who is curious about trying the game. This is it. And how much was yours? $20. Yeah, it's an absolute steal. So 40 rounds of ammunition, an awesome blaster, extremely comfortable to hold, very easy to manipulate. It's especially running it in stock formation. There's no real way to mess it up. So I highly recommend it. It has a great philosophy of use, which we can kind of get into later if we want to. But as of now, I think it's the best introductory blaster to zombie purposes.
Definitely for HVZ, where your engagement ranges are, essentially the range that you can hit a person-sized target with a Nerf blaster, which is about 30 feet. About that. That's where engagement really happens, right? Like zombies aren't gonna run at you before that.
They're gonna wait.
They're gonna wait until you get close enough to almost touch them within a few steps, right? And this you can just mow down forever. You can shoot as fast as you want, as slow as you want. It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent.
And I
do have one negative thing about it that I noticed at a Nerf war.
Okay.
So if we look at this thing from the side, it's beautiful. It's got great lines, right? It looks slim, and then you acquire your target. You've got a great big shield right here.
Oh God.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And in games where blaster hits count,
this is just
that's you in front
target.
of it. That's a target in front of it. So in stock form, where it is essentially just a pistol and you're firing it out here, that target is further away from you. I intend to put a shorter stock on mine so it'll be closer, so that'll be less of an issue. But that's really the only problem. And I definitely did get blaster tagged at least twice at the war with it, and thought, oh no, that wouldn't happen with a magazine.
It was a little slimmer, yeah, exactly. Very cool.
But I never have to think, how many rounds did I fire? How many do I have left in this?
Yeah,
Should I reload?
and,
I never have to think that.
That's my thing too, because after I picked this up, I kind of got a little, started to think a little bit, in my like close to 7 years of playing HVZ, I've never actually had to do magazine transitions more than once per giant zombie rush. Even at MVZ, which is undoubtedly the biggest game I've ever played at. You and I don't think we've ever had to do magazine swaps more than once.
During a rush? No.
During a rush, no, absolutely not. And I mean, there's always ample time to top off in between. So I mean, if there's any glaring worry that you might, for whatever reason, not have enough ammunition at the ready, I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah. Agreed. Don't think it's a problem.
Cool.
Yeah. Peace.